storytelling we don't need roads.
I'm going to start out with a question for both of you guys.
Okay.
What is more intimidating? Co-writing a novel with one of the greatest novelists of all time, or co-writing a novel with one of the greatest songwriters of all time?
I don't think we were intimidated.
No, I think
it was. It's been great. It's been fun. We've become good friends, and
we loved all that because I had admired him for years, and he knew about my music. So we'd done past that. We knew I was a writer. I knew he was a writer. So I was just surprised that he wanted to write a book with me. That was the big shock. I think, wow, would James Patterson need to write a book with me? You know, we're not.
And people would always ask, is she as great as we've heard? And I said, she's greater. She's the nicest person in the world. She's incredibly smart. She's a lot of fun. She laughs usually. She laughs at my jokes, which is good.
Yeah, he's got.
Is that a rarity?
He's got some good jokes.
Yeah. Well, you can see that. Well, you're faking a laugh.
Genuine laugh. I've got to say though, you're such an amazing writer, and you've been an amazing writer your entire life. But I'm curious when it comes to storytelling, because your songs, the reason your songs are art is because they're amazing stories. What's the difference, aside from length, between telling a story through song versus telling a story through a novel?
Well, I'd never written a novel before. The only difference is it's actually easier flowing to write a book because you don't have to.
Easy for her to say.
Well, yeah, easy for me to say. But I found that it's easier to think open like that than in a song, though. You have to, if you plan to be played on the radio, you got to really write a verse and a chorus and a bridge, and you got to try to keep it in a certain amount of time. Especially back when I was on the radio. Anymore, I just write till I'm done writing. But it's more structured to write a song. But to me, what I found, the difference in writing the book is that my mind could be a little freer. It wasn't so constructed, and you didn't have to have a melody to it.
The really cool thing here, and we didn't plan it this way, is to have a novel and an album together, because I don't know if anybody's ever done it before, but I heard the album about 6 weeks ago. I hadn't heard it, and obviously I know the book, I know the story, and it just adds so much. So whether you read the book first and then hear the songs, or listen to the songs first and then read the book, because all the stories are in there, the stories of the songs, and it's an experience that I've never had before.
That's such an interesting idea, pairing the album with the novel. And this is going to be your 48th studio album, but the first time you've ever had an album go along with a book. So I'm curious how that creative process for this album in particular was different from all the other 47 albums, because none of the others have ever been paired with a book before.
Well, I don't know that anybody's done that. Surely someone must have in the past, but we hadn't planned that. That was never in the process. I mean, never in the conversation of being part of the process. But once we started writing, and we were living in different states, and we were communicating. He'd come down now and then, and we would either by phone or by fax or by email or by all the ways that people communicate these days. But I thought, well, I was thinking about, well, this is about the music business. This is about a girl that sings. This is about a woman that sings. This is about a man, Ethan, the love interest, that sings. And I thought, well, duh. I write
She said,
songs.
"What do you think?" And I said, "I think that would be good
I
to have an album with the book." Yeah.
Well, duh sounds like a good reaction to
And
it.
so I started writing the songs, and as we was exchanging our story pages, and I started sending him the lyrics, and he took that and he'd expand, the characters on that, and so I don't know, it just seemed to be just one of those.
Well, and it's funny because it
things.
seems like a no-brainer, except nobody's ever done it
Exactly.
before.
Well, now I'm going to ask you the question that everyone in this room wants to know. When are we getting the James Patterson country album we've been waiting for our entire life?
It's coming
Yeah,
soon.
he
Like,
did.
she
I
just
never
won't
wrote a
let
novel.
me sing on it.
Now all of your other collaborators are going to look at this and go, what the
Where?
heck? Like Bill Clinton's going to go, I could have played saxophone for our novel together.
Oh,
Why didn't that work out?
That's an idea. Maybe we'll do that. I'm going to see him this weekend, so I'll ask him if he wants to do that.
Are there any of your other past novels that actually would be great to have a soundtrack go with it, like this one does?
I don't think so, because what's so natural here is that the songs are the way this woman expresses her life. They come right out of her life, Annie Lee and Ruth Anna, the two main characters. And so the album is even in the movie A Star Is Born, the songs aren't integral to her life. They're good songs, but
Sure.
they're not. In this thing, the songs are so integral to Annie Lee and Ruth Anna's lives. So, and that's, I think, really different. And that's why Alex Cross is not going to do it.
Fair enough. Fair
But
enough.
it's also about the music business.
Sure.
It's about singers and
Yeah.
writers, and it was like, why did we think of that?
Every person that's ever written a book about the music industry is going to go, what did I do? What?
Yeah,
They missed their shot.
Yeah, they did.
The two of you have been in the business not long enough where you've seen a lot of things change. But one of the biggest ones over the last 20 years is just how big of a deal social media has become. Both of you guys are on social media. What does it mean to sort of have that connection with your fans now where people can reach out and tell you how much they love a book, how much they love an album, and you can respond to them? Because 40 years, like, that used to not be the case. What is technology doing for you guys these days?
Well, it's great. I think anywhere you can reach your fans and they can feel close to you, and I think it's wonderful. All
As
the
long
new
as they say
technology
nice
is
things.
great.
What else could they possibly? What else? No one says mean things on the internet.
That's true. That's true.
But it's a good way of doing it, and so we're old timers. We've been at it a long time. We're not as high tech and as technical as a lot of the people, but the things that we still create is to go on, out there and to be able to. But I love the idea that we can still be important in that world, and that they can see us still, and we can communicate. So it's all about the fans. So any way that we can find new ways to reach them, that's great.
I love that. And I love
And this is a new way. Nobody's, as we said, nobody's done it. So it is different, and with all the tech out there, still nobody had done it. So
They're about to start doing it now.
Probably.
I can promise you that.
I think so.
You guys
yeah,
are setting a trend.
Well-
Speaking of first, it's hard to imagine that there are many things in your career that you have not done yet. But pretty soon, you're going to step on stage at South by Southwest and perform for the very first time. First time you've performed live since 2017, I believe. It's been a couple
Well, I've
of
done
years.
some charity shows. I've
Sure.
done a few things here and there, but I have not performed in front of a big audience.
Sure.
And I'm excited about doing that.
So whenever there is a first like that, and it's hard to imagine someone like you getting nervous, getting those butterflies. But when there is a first in your career, do you feel them again?
Well, I always get butterflies before I go on stage because I think everybody does. But once that light hits me, I forget everything else and I'm right there with them. But I always do my little prayers. I always, ask God to just let me, bless the people and shine and do something fun, let it be meaningful. But I always stand backstage like a racehorse while I'm waiting to go on while they're talking or playing the overture, and I just say, hey, come on. And then once I'm there, but I'm excited. I'm more excited than nervous about this because I know how to do a show. I didn't forget that part. And I know I love the fans, and I know they seem to care about me. And so I'm out there with them, and I'm excited. Even if I make mistakes, they don't care. They're right there with me.
And it's all new songs, which is kind of neat.
Actually,
too,
we're
yeah.
doing 3 songs. We're going to do a few songs from the album. I mean, from the album from the book. And then I'll be doing a few songs that the fans want to hear. So we're going to have a really nice little concert and a nice time there.
But Mr. Patterson, you're going to be there as well. So
I'll be nervous backstage.
You'll be
too.
right. You'll also be right there waiting for the
That's right.
overture to
Okay.
wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he'll
I'm
be
saying,
ready.
this is
And we're
kind
going
of
to talk. I think we're going to talk a little bit. Somewhere along the
Yeah,
way
we
for
had
half
a
an hour.
long,
So that'll
long
be fun.
interview
That'll be
before
fun.
I
Yeah.
perform.
like a little fireside chat.
Yeah, maybe we can do that. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Well, I tell you what, I'm curious though. Take yourself back to when you were writing your first book, before you knew the man that you would become.
Yeah.
If someone had said you putting pen to paper is going to result in you being on stage at South by Southwest with Dolly Parton, what do you think you would have said?
Well, I think, one of the things that's bonded us all the way through is, Dolly came from this little town in the middle of the hills of Tennessee, and I came from this little town up in the Hudson River. And I think the odds against either one of us being at South by Southwest were about 1,000,000 to 1 or maybe more than that. And same with Annie Lee in the book. The odds of her making it, more than 1,000,000 to 1. And that's what the book is about. And that's what this whole thing is. It's about dreams. And so part of our dream is we're going to be at this South and Southwest, and it'll be fun, and it's neat. I love Austin anyway. So
Austin's amazing.
yeah,
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I did not bring up the fact that you have been nominated as an inductee for this year's class for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I was never more shocked in my life.
You want to
than
sing that
hear
new rock and roll song?
Now I'm going to have to do a rock and roll album after I finish all these projects.
Well, that'd be
I
cool.
seriously am.
Everyone in this room is down for
I'm
that.
serious. I've been thinking about doing
You doing a
like
hard
Linda
rock or
Ronstadt album, type album, or like the Eagles, that kind of rock and roll. But I'm thinking about doing it. Yeah, but I was very flattering, but I was shocked. I thought, well, I never thought of myself as being a rock and roller. I mean, I always thought it was cool if somebody say, "Oh, you rock," or "You a rock star." I just thought that was just them saying, "Oh, you're cool, or you're doing it." But when I thought, well, I don't know whether to be happy or embarrassed. I don't know how rock and roll I am. But I guess they don't judge it on a lot of that. They do it on the whole of the music. Somebody told me of things you've contributed to. And a lot of rock and roll people have done my songs. And so, anyway, I was honored. So,
can you take me to the moment when you found out? Was it just a random call one morning?
Yeah, no, Danny Nozell, my manager, he said, he called me. He said, you've just been nominated to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it was kind of like that thing that's going on around now. It was like one of those, what? Really? I said, what? Are you joking? And he said, no, you have. I said, oh, that's crazy. But I thought it was great, but I don't know if I'll win, but it's certainly a compliment to be nominated.
We get that James Patterson country album.
Huh?
I'm telling
You
you,
think?
there's still time for the country
Grammys
Hall
or
of
something?
Fame.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
There can't be that many awards you haven't won in your life, so we can get that country album.
or maybe one of the rock songs.
There, another collaboration.
When I do that rock album.
I was in Woodstock, man.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Was your hair long?
It was.
Smoking dope?
We're not going to go too deep into that. But, long hair, yes.
You mentioned a lot of rockers covering your songs. I don't know if you've had a song that's been covered maybe more than Jolene.
I have not.
Yeah. And believe it or not, next year is the 50th anniversary of Jolene.
Oh, is it?
Which is obviously one of the greatest songs ever written. I'm sort of curious, a piece of art changes for everyone depending on where they are in their lives. How is that song different for you today than 50 years ago?
Well, it's just been such an amazing run on that song. That song has been recorded, somebody told me, like 450 times worldwide in every garage band. Everybody wants to do Jolene. And every new artist, the White Stripes, and Keith Urban sings it on stage, and Miley sings it. And I get all kinds of albums, records of Jolene. Even in Japanese, people all around the world.
You're not sure.
But anyway, it's just fascinating to me, and I'm just thankful for it. But you never think about that when you're writing these songs. And I think Jolene and I Will Always Love You are on the same album. So I must have wrote them right in the same, I have a little cassette to where they're both on. So it was in the same period of time, right in that week. But I just think, wow, these are both the gifts that keep on giving. But Jolene is just such a fun little thing. They did a dance record of it, and with me and other people, and it's just amazing. That was a little song I wrote kind of based on being jealous over a girl with my husband, and but she's made me a lot of money, so I feel different about her now.
All right, I'll cut you loose on this one. Both you've collaborated with people in music before. You've collaborated with people in novels before. In what way can a collaboration make you better? In what way can working with someone else sort of change what you see about what you're best at?
Makes you wiser, because it makes you kind of get a chance to know the mind of the person that you admire a lot, and kind of the way that for James, I always loved his writing, but I got to know him as a man and as a person. He's so smart and so clever and so deep and so many things, and I really felt like I feel like I'm a better person from this experience, and a smarter person.
I think the key to good combos like this is listening, and if you listen, you will learn. If you don't listen, obviously you don't learn anything. You go in the way you came out. or you come out the way you came in. But you know, I always listen to her, and she listens to me, and the book is better for it. And I don't know if the album's better for it, but the book is definitely better for it. Because I didn't have any advice to give her for the album. So
Well, but it's just been fun. It's nice to meet new people, make new friends, because you know that song I did with Kenny Rogers, you can't make old friends. It's true, you can't make old friends, but you can make some new friends that feel like old friends, like someone you feel like you've known forever, that you feel so comfortable with, that you can just be yourself, and we look forward to the next time you see them. So I really think we've come up with a good little friendship here.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.